Vegas, baby fans. I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. This whole pandemic is just on my last nerve. I'm sure you all agree with me, right? So funny is hard, I have my good and bad days. Yesterday I was struggling real bad, and then Elvis, oh my God, even though it wasn't a good thing, it brought me out of my funk, and I ended up having a great day. So I will tell you this story because it was pretty funny. So I'm sitting outside on my patio. I got a little backyard, and Elvis, as you can hear, was out there sitting, and he was sitting probably about 12 feet away from me. I have a rug on the concrete slab. I have a nice rug, nice and soft, and then I have a little rug that I had from the townhome I was renting that I don't need inside, and I put it outside because I'm going to put my pool on top of it. So Elvis was sitting over there, minding his own business, I thought. Apparently not. So I'm sitting there rocking and rolling, I have my music going, I'm rocking and rolling. All of a sudden, he leaps into the air. I mean, seriously, I'm talking leaps into the air. He leaps about 3 feet across and grabs a bird that was flying by with his mouth. He's like, "Ow." And I'm like, Elvis. And he's running around with this bird in his mouth, and he runs through the back door because he wants to go in the house with it. I'm like, oh, no, you're not. So I got the bird out of it. It was a little bird. I don't know what it was. It was about that big. He killed it. I felt really bad, but I got to tell you, I'm like, whoa, Elvis, you're a warrior, man. So clearly, before I got Elvis, he was an outdoor cat, which explains a lot. He's an awesome cat, but whenever the door's open, he darts for it. So now that explains it. He was probably an outdoor cat. I don't really know why anybody ever gave him up, because he's an awesome cat. He's a little needy because he likes a lot of love. But yeah, so he did cheer me up yesterday. That was pretty funny. So today I've been writing down like stories, crazy stories about me, because there's a million of them, but I can never think of them, right? So I've been writing down some funny stuff, and I thought it would make you laugh. We're going to reminisce, and everybody's got a Lynn story. I wish people were to write comments, because if there's something you want me to talk about, I will talk about it. You can always put comments on the page, on the YouTube page, or you can send me a messenger. But anyways, so funny Lynn things that we all know is a Lynnism, right? So many years ago, because this Kathy and Tom, my sister and my brother-in-law, they were living in their original house, and it was a real small house, and it was their first house. And it was New Year's Eve, this one New Year's Eve, and the kids were finally in bed, so then we kicked it into gear and started partying. I mean, we were partying earlier, but not a lot. When they went to bed, the three of them, we were like, all right, so we were partying, and we were playing some games, and we were drinking, and and then at one point, I don't know why, to this day, I don't even know what I was going to do, but I said, it was the four of us, me, Kathy, Tom, and Bill, and I said, everyone hold hands. So we're sitting at the table holding hands, and then all of a sudden Tom goes, what the hell are we doing this for? Because I hadn't said anything, and it was so funny. I laughed so hard, I was like, oh my God, and I went like that, and I had a shot glass sitting in front of me that I just done a shot, and it was about that tall. It was a real tall one. So when I laughed, I went with my head, and boom, I came up, and I was like, oh my God, I hit the shot glass, and it was like right here in my head. And I came up, and the three of them are dying laughing. I swear there must have been like, you know how in the cartoons when they get hit, the stars go over their head, like, yeah, they're whacked. I swear to God, it happened to me. I swear I had a concussion from this thing. I was like, whoa, I was dazed. The three of them could not stop laughing, and I had this big red mark on my head. The next day I woke up, we spent the night at their house. The next day I woke up, and I'm like, oh, and Michael's like, Mom, get up. They're young, and he's like, Mom. I'm like, what? And he's like, what happened to your forehead? And I had a big bruise, a big size of a quarter bruise on my forehead. I'm like, well, we got a little crazy last night. So yeah, that was a pretty funny one. We laughed pretty hard on that one. And then another around the holiday, Bill and I, oh wow, we were in our house, and It really wasn't. I would say this party I had was probably maybe 2004, 2003, something like that, 2005, right around there. And I decided to take on a big holiday party, Christmas party at our house, the week before Christmas for our friends. And I am not, as everyone knows, a baker or cooker or nothing, but I decided I was going to make a bunch of hors d'oeuvres. It was just going to be hors d'oeuvres. People could come. I mean, you would have enough to eat as a dinner, but it was just going to be hors d'oeuvres. And I got up like 6 a.m. that Friday and I just started cooking and cooking and cooking and cooking and cooking. The only thing I ordered out was buffalo wild wings. We had boneless buffalo wings and I had many different flavors, but everything else I made myself. And that's really unusual for me. So I was up that whole day. So I was just exhausted. And it turned out to be a pretty big party. I mean, there was like 40 people there or something coming and going and this and that. And we just had a blast. But which is very unusual for me. It was like 1 o'clock and it had whittled down, and there was like maybe 6 people left, and we were sitting downstairs talking, and I fell asleep on my friends. I was so exhausted. They're like, "We've never seen that before. You go to sleep first? What's wrong here?" So everybody left. So I was really exhausted. So that's the point of this. So obviously we go up and go to bed. I do have to tell you one thing though. I'm sorry. So Bill in the day, if you know, had it was so hard for him to get up and off of the toilet because he just didn't, he just was in bad shape. You all knew that. So what we got him was one of those toilets that the old people use, where they lifts them up and then they've got handles on the side, right? So it was just so much easier for him, just to get up and down. Because he didn't. It was really more for the handles, so he could get up, because there was no handles on the side of the toilet. So we always put that over our toilet upstairs and the one attached to our bedroom. Well, that before the party started, he moved it into the bathtub shower and close the shower curtain. That was before we had the new bathtub and shower door. But anyways, so and I didn't even know that because I was downstairs the whole night anyway. So I get up. It must have been about 5 a.m. And I wake up and I'm like, oh, I gotta pee. I was so tired, still a little liquored up, and so I got out of bed. And our bedroom is attached to was attached to the bathroom. So I got up and I literally did not open my eyes. I just kind of walked, because I've done it so many times. I just walked to the bathroom, and I didn't turn on the light or anything. And because I figured the toilet thing was there. So I pulled down my pants and I turn around and I just plopped down. The toilet thing was not there. He had not put it back. So I wiped out badly. I fell, I hit the toilet, flew off, and slammed my back of my ribs, as it turned out, into the tub. And, I'm flying up, I'm screaming, it's 5 a.m. And Bill's like, "Oh my God, what's going on? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, what happened to the toilet seat?" And he's like, "Oh, shoot, I didn't put it back." So, of course, I'm blaming him, which, of course, it's not his fault. If I would have just opened my eyes and maybe turned on the light, like most people do. It was so painful. Oh my God, I could hardly breathe. I hairline fractured my ribs, a couple of them, one or two, I can't remember. And I'm thinking to myself, I was in so much freaking pain. I was dying. And football players play with, fractured ribs and stuff. Man, those guys are awesome because I was a big baby. It hurt. But it was funny because Bill was like, all of a sudden, he's like, I'm screaming, and my legs are flying. I'm upside down. And at that point, I was stuck between the toilet and on the floor and the bathtub. There's a little space in between, and my legs are flying. And oh my God, it was awful. Yeah, so that was another injury I did to myself. Here's another funny injury. See, I just love injuring myself. one summer we were all camping, a bunch of us. There was a bunch of us. There had to be like 8 of us, I think. And when we did that, we would just get a bunch of campsites, and then we put all our campsites together, and around the campfire we would have a big giant. So there was a lot of us. Well, it was later in the night, and some people go to bed, some don't. Well, me and Bill and Sue were walking around the campsite, and we walked down to the lake, and we were just sitting there, and we had been drinking, but not a lot. Have you ever noticed the theme here? Drinking, partying, smoking, and drinking. um, so we walked back, and we went to the bathroom. And then Sue and Bill were outside waiting for me, and they got tired of waiting for me. So they started walking back to the campsite, and I come out, and I'm like, hey, you guys, wait for me. And they thought it was funny, so they started taking off real fast. So I'm like, oh, I'll show them. So I thought it was a good idea. Another good Lynn idea. I'm going to cut through one of the campsites and I'm going to meet them because it was dark. It was probably like 1, 2 in the morning. So I'm running and I see a way. I think I had a flashlight, but you can't see very much. It's just a little flashlight. And I'm running and I'm like, oh, there's a spot. I'm running. I trip over. I didn't even see the pup tent. Most people have bigger tents when they go camping like that. Well, these people, and not that it was their fault, but these people were sleeping in a little pup tent, and those were when they had the long strings that would go into the ground to hold it in the ground. Well, I tripped over it, and I landed. And they have, how they have those metal, round metal pits when you go camping, so you can put the wood in it, and they stand up about, I don't know. You can't see, but so high, maybe about 2 feet high off the ground. And I fell right in. Thank God there was not a fire previously that night. I fell right into their fire pit. And again, this time the front, oh my God, I landed on right in my belly, right with the metal. And it was like, oh God. And I'm like, shit. And I'm screaming. And then I hear them go, where are you? And then the people in the pup tent are like, who's out there? What are you doing? I'm like, oh my God, I can't move. I'm stuck in your fire pit. And then Sue and Bill come and get me. They're like, what are you doing? And these people are like, get out of here. We're going to call the Rangers. I'm like, I can barely walk. So we were laughing about that. The next day I had a bruise. Like right around here, I had a thin bruise. Oh man, did that hurt. I'm like, I just love seeming to hurt myself. I'm looking at all my notes here. So, here's one last one. And then we'll get and that'll be it for today. I'm kind of all holiday themes, it seems like. So I'm sticking, So that wasn't a holiday thing, but one Christmas, I was in charge of putting up, obviously, all the Christmas stuff, and outside day after Thanksgiving. I didn't matter what the temperature was. Sometimes, as I got older and smarter, I know hard to believe, right? Smarter, but I did. If the weekend before was nice, I would get out there and do it. Well, this particular year must not have been, so I did it the day after Thanksgiving. So we always like to decorate the outside of the house. So we had I still do have a million extension cords because I always seem to buy a new one every year. I don't know why, but I always seem to. So there was a million cords, and I was setting all these lights up and trying to get them all coordinated, and it was freezing out, and I was getting really pissed, and I was like, and I come in, I slammed the door, and Bill's like, I said, it's not working, and blah, 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 and he's like, okay, I'll come out. So he comes out, but it was so cold. So this is when we still had our truck, and he was sitting in the front seat of the truck. So he kind of pulled it closer he kind of almost went on the sidewalk with the truck so he could direct me. Try this, try that. So if you don't know, in front of our house, we had, by the front door, we had a big, tall evergreen. It was really, really wide. I planted them when we first moved in, by the way, all of these myself. It was real wide, and it was probably, at that point, I don't know if it was probably 10 feet high. And then we had another one at the other end, at the side of the house, and it was real wide too. And then on the bottom, between them, we had little evergreens, round ones, So that was the front, like the bed of the house. All right, Elvis, I'm trying to do a show. God. See his tail? He can't stand not having attention, can you? Anyways, so I'm behind one of these evergreens, and I said, okay, I'm going to hook all these up, and I think I got it. And then we can switch it on. And he's like, okay. So I'm real frustrated. And I start to walk out behind the evergreens. Well, I got caught up in all the extension cords I had hidden behind there to hide them. And it made me trip. So I trip and I come flying out behind the evergreen like Superman, and I land in the snow face first. And Bill, I look over and he's like, are you all right? And I'm like, are you laughing? Because if you're laughing, he goes, honey, that was funny. He goes, I'm sorry, but you were flying. He said, I tripped and it just caught me and out I went. He goes, and he didn't know he goes, all of a sudden you came flying out. Oh, a Lynnism, right? Only me. And I ended up leaving my glasses out there that night. I took them off, and I laid them down behind the tree, and I was doing stuff. And do you know, a couple hours later, I'm like, where are my glasses? I tore that house apart. I was like mad. I'm yelling. I'm running up and down the stairs. Where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? I'm like, shit. And we're like, what the hell? They were outside sitting in the snow still. Yep. Yes, that's me. But, so that's a little fun Lynnisms. Now, if you know a Lynnism you'd like me to share, definitely. I've got more, but I'm not going to do them all today because I don't want to make these so long because people, they won't watch if it's long. So, Elvis, say hi. Look at him. Look at the warrior. So today I am going to do a song, and I hope that you guys all like it. I look like I'm in a recording studio, don't I? So let's see if we can get this going. Okay, you guys ready? Are you ready? Oh, people who need people. Oh, the luckiest people in the world. Man, am I off today? Children, you know the children, and get letting my romance hide all the grief deep inside, acting more like children, lovers, very special people. They're the luckiest people in the world. One person, one very special person, feeling deep in your soul. Says you are half, now you are whole. No more hunger and thirst. First be a person who needs people. People who need people. Oh, the luckiest people in the world. Person, very special person, feeling deep in your soul. You are half, now you are whole. More hunger First be a person who needs people. People who need people. Uh-oh. Are the luckiest people in the world. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Was that something or something, huh? That was something, wasn't it? God, I love to sing. You know what? There's nothing more that I want to do is get out and do some karaoke, but you know, that ain't going to happen. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go for my birthday, which is coming up in a few weeks. Yeah, I'm another year older. Um, I wanted to go karaoke. What is it, Korean karaoke? They usually have the best karaoke's, and I wanted to go there. That's what I wanted to do with my son and some of his friends, but that ain't gonna happen. But I just hope that everybody's doing good. You know what? Are you wearing your mask when you go out? Um, they're going to announce today here in Vegas phase two on opening, and supposedly some of the casinos are opening June 4th, but the numbers have started to go up a little bit. And our governor said if the numbers go up, we're halting everything. So it'll be interesting to see what he says today because, yeah, they started going up. I was seeing last week and the week after, a lot of people weren't wearing masks anymore. And I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? Wear a damn mask. It ain't going to kill you. And use your turn signal, by the way. I'm just saying. But everybody, keep safe. Keep happy, love one another. This is tough times. You know, I've been struggling. I've had my good and bad days, I won't lie. But the one thing that I'm actually proud of myself, and I don't give this person kudos too much at all, I'm usually beating on myself, is since I've come to Vegas the last 3 years, especially in the last year or so, I have been journaling a lot, and I when I do get in those down moods, I'm depressed or the anxious starts and stuff like that. I'm finding I'm getting myself out of it quicker. Meaning I know the triggers, I know what I can do. So I'm kind of happy about that. I'm a little proud because I was pretty bad yesterday when I woke up. Man, I wrote a "Feel Sorry for Me" Facebook and this and that, which I've since taken down, and and then I got myself out of it. But I won't lie, it's lonely here. It's hard because I can't go meet anybody right now. I've moved to the other side of town, so I don't know anybody over here, and we can't go anywhere. So it's like I was going to join the summer bowling leagues right over here. It was like 5 minutes from my house. That ain't happening. And you know the bars and the casinos. You know they're not going to have the bars open in the casino. See, I like to sit at the bar, put $20 in the machine and play 21 and just take my time and like talking to people, watching they have all the TVs and you can watch all the baseball games, which aren't happening. So it just sucks. So just be a person who needs people, because people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. And I need people badly. All right. I love you. Help somebody. Reach out to people if they need help. Remember your loved ones. Be kind to people. Be kind to each other. And let's get over this damn pandemic because I'm sick of it. Okay. That's it for the Vegas baby show. And make sure tomorrow or the next day, whenever I do the next one, which will be, this is show 41. I know my friend said to me, you skipped a number, and I did. So this show is 41. There is no 37. That's going to come up later. I got plans for that. So tune in the next time to the Vegas baby show starring Maylin. I appreciate you for the support, the ones that are so supportive, and I know who a lot of you are. So God bless. I love you. Keep healthy. Vegas, baby. Rock and roll.